He's like, oh, I'm fucking bored with these fucks already.
Yeah, it's like it's fucking 2 a.m. my time, you fucking cunts. And on that note, everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Two Guys, One Move. I'm your host, Brando Comics. With me today, as always, is El Fuzzo, and we are extremely honored and privileged to be with the man himself, Mr. J2K. Welcome. And there it is. There's the welcome shot.
Le bonjour.
Oh, fuck.
So,
Yeah.
how are you on this lovely evening, Mr. J?
Fucking tired.
Yeah.
Really tired.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. He decided that he wanted to come on the show. We wanted him on the show, but the time difference, and he told me he's up all night, so we ended up fucking him by making him come on at 2 a.m. his time so he could be on it at 9 a.m. our time. It got pushed back an hour because I had to take care of dinner, married life. So, yeah, that's that.
Married life. So, thank you so much for coming, Jay. So what are we gonna start with today there, fellers?
Well, we thought, well, first of all, Jay, by the way, J2K is the international El Presidente of the Comic Book Fiend Club, so that's fucking awesome.
Yes,
It's
it is.
probably the hardest chapter to be a part of and actually meet up because you got some folks in Australia and then all across the globe.
Yeah.
Not Puerto Rico, though.
Unfortunately, well, no, unfortunately not. You guys get that. We don't want them. But yeah, we were actually meant to have our we had a sort of mini meet in September there. There was only really the four of us, but then we decided to make a big, huge meet together, which was meant to be when I was in Manchester there the other weekend, which obviously due to fucking COVID and that kind of fucked it. So that sucks. That totally sucks. We had the con picked out. We were going to all meet up and stay in a massive hotel, like, and just kind of bunk together because that wouldn't end up fucking dodgy. But yeah, so COVID went and fucked that one up. So that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. COVID's fucking a lot of things up, man.
A lot
Really
of
unfortunate. But hey, what are you going to do? What are you drinking today, Fuzz? I got a Millie. Moxie and milk, baby.
Oh, you got a Millie. I have Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper.
Nice, nice. But basically today... Oh, what do you have?
Water. Sorry,
Gotcha.
water.
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 Drinking my water. I love it.
Aye.
Here you go.
Council juice. Or council juice. We call it council juice because you can drink water at the tap here. So you call it council juice.
That's actually perfect for a little bit of our topic we're going to do. We don't really have any specific topic. I want to talk about cultures and shit and the differences of things in Scotland versus the U.S. and then also shit that Greek people do.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Because, I mean, I got the U.S. covered, I guess, kind of.
Yeah, good old America, baby.
America.
But no, because we shouted Jay out before in the pod, and he sent me a short video of him talking for 15 minutes, and it went from him saying thank you for the shout out to we say things like this, and then it's this in Glaswegian, and it was very interesting. So I'm very, very interested. And he has my wife's favorite accent, by the way, so she's gonna get all hot and bothered when she watches this. So thank you.
I'm just doing you a favour. That's why I'm doing it. I'm getting paid for this shit, man.
So there's a difference in types of things you say, obviously. Like I touch base on colloquialisms. So like you were saying how like some people say water and then some people say water.
So I say water, but there's thing is, like you said, every areas are different, right? So we've got Glasgow and Edinburgh's one of the biggest one. I need to stop moving my hand because it makes me look dark. Aye, so that's the biggest one, but there's actually an area here called Fife, and it's always seen as like that's like our rednecks, so to speak. So like we say, they've got fucking 6 fingers on each hand, but they talk really funny, like really funny. I think Scotland talks funny, but these guys talk really funny. So like we'll say two, but they say twa,
right?
And for wall they say wah. So it's like I got twa on the wah. It's like honestly, it's the weirdest accent ever. Generally, it's like they've lived in a field the entire time, man. They are just we see them as the simple folk, and they kind of can be We had a huge storm here last Tuesday, and we were actually called miles out to Fife. That's how bad it got. There was actually videos, cars floating. We got sent to save ambulances at a hospital because they
Wow.
had folk in it, and it was like they were flooded in. And when we got down there, we got to the staff car park, and their cars were literally like floating about, like bobbing
Holy
about the place. And I mean, the rain was thundering down, the lightning wouldn't stop in the sky and that. And one of the wee guys from Fife came up to me in my fire gear and goes, "So what's happened here?" And I was like, what the fuck things happened? The fucking skies have opened up. But aye, so they're
Uh,
always seen as our dumbasses. But yeah, the biggest one is Edinburgh and sort of Glasgow. We always refer to Edinburgh as a university accent. That's because
okay.
it's a more high educated area. So they announce their T's all the time. That's what we always joke about is say you announce your T's. So
Okay.
like said, we we're talking like I say water, my missus says water. And she actually
Right.
says it like that, water. I'm going to
Yeah.
get some water. Whereas I'm like, you want a drink of water? You know what I mean? Like I'm saying water now because it's but and then it's the same with dog. So my missus always say dog and she's trying to teach my kid my Wayne. So that's what we call a kid is your Wayne.
Is
She's
your
trying to
wing?
teach my Wayne how to speak like her because it's more proper, which I understand. So she'll be like, "Oh, look, there's a dog," but the Wayne doesn't picks up my stuff. So she's like, "There's a dog, dog, dog," because that's what I say. I say, "There's a dog."
That's great.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man. So you said the place is called Fife?
Fife, aye.
Okay.
Kirkcaldy or Fife. Like it's got two names for some reason because they're fucking Fifers. Fucking
So I
weirdos.
wonder, so I wonder if that's like like Cajun people here. Like you have Cajun people that live in like the swamplands of Louisiana.
My
And it's
favorite
like
accent in the world.
they speak English and everything just fine, but most of them I think are French. So there's like this amalgam language that they speak, and it's just like Boomhauer-ish from King of the Hill, only like way worse. So I
Aye,
wonder if it's kind of what you experience with the difference between that place and Edinburgh or Glasgow. Is
aye,
it
aye.
Glasgow or Glasgow?
Uh, Glasgow, and it's Edinburgh. So like, the comic book men came to Edinburgh to the
Okay.
con. Every one of them but Walt, and they ended up getting pulled up by so many people because like we used to say Pittsburgh, so they were
Mhm.
announcing Edinburgh like that. They're like Edinburgh, and everyone was like, no, it's Edinburgh. So like how you say bra at the end of stuff, say that like
Right.
that. So like, so if you
Okay.
that's how we
That's
say
great.
Edinburgh, even though it's spelled the same way.
Are there people like that in Greece?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. You have well, there's the two primary. There's the very like the regular version of Greek, which is the motiki. It's like the standard, and then there's like kathurevusa, which is the very very formal fucking bougie shit. And then you have like the Islander Greek, and then you
Okay.
have like different types of Islander Greek, like people from Corfu with all their noses in the
Uh,
air. They're just honestly a bunch of cunts.
I love Corfu too. That's where I go on holidays. Corfu, I love Corfu.
Yeah,
Corfu
it's
Sudari.
I'm not a big fan of that island. It's pretty and all, but I don't like the waters. I like more southern Greece and Greek islands. But I'm a Mediterranean boy. But yeah, sometimes they have, and then there's villager Greek too. That sounds like it sounds like they're sucking on the end of a muffler. Like I don't know, man, because some of these villages are high up in these mountains, and
Right.
they just have donkeys. So I feel it's very like lazy almost.
Right.
Like I don't know. I just go over there. By the way, I just go to Greece and I just speak English because I love being a fucking tourist. But no,
so
this all. Go ahead,
so
go ahead.
like do you ever catch people like when you go back to Greece that obviously don't know that you're Greek, that you're just talking, normal, English and everything, and they start shit talking you in Greek,
Oh
and then
yeah,
oh,
actually,
bitch, I got you.
that honestly happens more here in the States than anything.
Oh wow.
Especially when I'm dealing with if I'm dealing with the public for whatever reason, and they'll come over and I know exactly where they're from because they have that accent when they speak English. I'm like, okay. And then I might not know where something is or how to give proper directions. Then they talk shit, and I just look at them and I'm like, because they'll hit me with something small and minor. Like they'll be like, oh, like they'll say to their wife, like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot. And then I'll just look at them and be like, yeah, that's not what your mother said last night when I fucked her in her slippery twat in Greek.
Twat. Twat.
Like, because I always got to bring it way to the next level.
Right,
So,
of course.
I don't know what this whole conversation that I wanted to start came up because like I've been on a Greek music kick lately,
Okay.
and I've been listening to a lot of Greek live, like on Spotify, and some live music comes up, and I just noticed some shit that fucking Greek people do, and it just drives me nuts, man. Like I can never listen to live Greek music because Greeks have this fucking uncanny ability that they have to just call everybody out. Like the song starts and they can't just start singing or just say like, oh, hello everybody, welcome, I'm Yannis Futarkos. They got to call everybody out in the crowd. They're like, oh, Barbayani, Dimitri, Yorgos, oh yeah, who's that? Papu, hey, Papu, yeah, hey, what's going on? And then they stop, and then they start singing, and then they stop and be like, yes, there's Michali, Christos, hey, what's up, Christos from the village, what's going on? And the song is 3 minutes long, and then it's 15 minutes because they're just fucking calling people out, and that's every single artist. They all do that, and it drives me nuts.
Jay, have you ever been to the States?
Nah.
You've never been to the States?
Nah. Furthest I've been is Greece.
Ooh.
Okay. Have you ever thought about going to the States?
Aye, me and the missus talk about it all the time, but it's generally a money thing as well. It's like not cheap.
It's probably expensive.
Yeah, traveling sucks. Actually, speaking about traveling, me and my missus, we're going to be going to Scotland next once this whole COVID thing kicks off.
Yeah.
Or slows down. I'm going to go visit this guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
In Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
But
That's awesome. That's just so crazy. Like, and you guys do the holiday thing. Like, holiday is vacation, correct?
Aye.
But you guys, when you go on holiday though, it's not like for a week or shit like that. Isn't it like a good bit of time, or is anything count? Like even if it's for a weekend.
NN counts, so a long weekend or that, but usually everyone's like 14 days, like pretty much. It's like that's a given, but generally I've heard cunts saying they're going on their holidays and they'll go out for a night, man, you know what I mean? That's it. They're just like, oh, I just realised I said cunt, didn't I?
Yeah, that's a great word, man. It's okay.
It didn't take long.
Were you trying not to? Because
I'm not gonna lie. The fact that I spoke for speaking for 5 minutes without actually saying it's a challenge for me. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
it's just a Scottish thing,
term, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's very big here.
That's definitely like me
very
going 5 minutes without saying fuck. So I understand.
Yeah, we say fuck a lot here. Yep. So here's a question for you: what drives you crazy that, let's say, people not from Scotland think or say about people from Scotland?
I don't think there is any. I mean, I think we always kind of joke about it. It's one of these things where folk always say that we live in the Highlands and all that. We've all got ginger hair and we all have kilts and stuff. And the truth is we're like the cheapest motherfuckers you'll find. So no one really owns a kilt because kilts are expensive. So like we'll rent one for a holiday or we'll rent one for like a wedding or something, but we'll never actually like buy our own one because it's fucking expensive.
Wow.
But
it's like a tuxedo.
to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, most of it's spot on. Like we do drink a lot. When we drink, we get worse with our accent, so you probably won't understand us. We are very aggressive, but it's not that. I don't think Scottish people are actually really that aggressive. It's just how we speak is aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like it's weird to explain. Like if I meet up with people that aren't from Scotland, I generally have to end up apologising because a lot of time they're like, you're being a bit of a dick here, and I'm like, no, generally I'm just a cunt. And then I'm like, wait, that's just how Scotland is. Everyone is just like this, where if you say something stupid, someone's going to rip you into the ground for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's because it's the whole like folk thinking we live in the Highlands. I try and argue it, but then you drive 15 minutes away from where I stay and you're in a field. So you're like, well, you're no fucking wrong, to be honest. You know what I mean? most of it is just farmland.
Yeah.
So
So like outsiders, like obviously like people that haven't met you before, how many times have you been mistaken for like just British or Irish or like Welsh or anything? Like have people just talked to you and been like, "Oh, you're Irish," and you're like, "Fuck, I am."
Nah, like so again, I won't touch on the politics side yet, but I support a
Right.
team here called Celtic, who's got Irish roots. So if folk ever say I'm Irish, I'm kind of just like, no, I'm Scottish, mate, but I'm quite happy with it. Whereas the other team from the other side of Glasgow would be highly offended by it because they are British. So
Yeah.
I'm actually the opposite. I get more offended if someone calls me British because
Got you.
like I'm not British. But
Right.
to be honest, you go on holiday and most of the time folk are like, where are you from in the UK? Like they kind
Yeah.
of just got used to the fact that they don't understand any of our accents.
That's
So they
good.
ask it.
That's probably
But the
better.
best but the best part is usually when you say, oh, I'm Scottish, they're like, oh yes, you're Scottish, you're no English, thank God. Right, you can drink here because the English are notoriously known for being wankers, like getting drunk and wrecking the place.
oh, it fucking tickles me. I'm sorry. That's another word I love. That triggers me every time. Oh, I got called wanker so many fucking times when I was in England.
Why does that not shock me?
It shouldn't shock you whatsoever. No, because like, I was looking up things because for the promo for this, I wanted to just throw in a little bit of a Scottish nod to you. So
Yeah.
I threw in like Dauber and
And Walloper.
Walliver, and I was
Walloper.
reading when I was looking up these things like don't ever call a person from Scotland a Scotch. They're a
Aye,
Scot.
aye, because Scotch is a drink. And even
Yeah.
then, we don't call it Scotch. Like, it's just whiskey here. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to call it Scotch. We just call it whiskey.
Yeah, because I mean fucking that's what it is.
Aye, aye. So, like, if we were saying Jack Daniels, not you'll rarely find someone in Scotland that will call Jack Daniels a whiskey. Like, they are just bourbons to us. That's what we call them. We won't
Yeah.
call it a whiskey because it's not whiskey. I mean,
It's not.
Right.
It's not a
it's
bourbon
not.
either. It's trash.
Yeah.
Aye. So, like, we won't call it Scotch, but you do get a lot of folk that get all up and answering like, "Don't call me Scotch," but at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. Eh? Like, how are you supposed to know every single? Like, it's
Yeah.
one of these things. If you've never been to Scotland, you're not going to know how. And even if you speak to us, you're not going to know because you can't understand a fucking word we say anyway. So,
No, all this is what I'm saying about culture. Why culture is so funny because
Yeah.
like you go to Cambodia, they say, oh, when you go to Cambodia, make sure you don't touch the tops of the heads of any of the Cambodian people. And I'm thinking to myself, who the fuck goes around just like you gonna go around in Cambodia and start petting people? Like, what the fuck do I need to even know that for?
Thank you. Thank you. Fuck. Like you go ahead and do that shit to somebody in New York or Chicago and see how that works out for your ass.
Fucking ridiculous. It's
Oh man, that's fucking great. I don't know, man. You guys like have such rich cultures and so very interesting and like a lot of like American culture is fucking not.
depends. I mean, it
because
all
you're
depends.
so young as well, though. You know what I mean? Like, you have
Right.
to remember that most of like Scotland and that have been there for fucking years. You guys are like fucking 20-year-old, pretty much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're 20-year-old wankers.
Shower of wanks.
Hey, but I can say I was actually born outside of the States. I was
He
actually
was.
born in Germany. So I spent the first 2 years of my existence in Germany. Do I remember any of it? No, not really. But
Was that due to military-based family or that like
my mom was in the military for shit the
right?
better part of 20 years. So that's why because I
Believe it
my
or
like I
not,
what's
most
up?
of the UK and most of the Scottish people are kind of the same because of the same reason they were based in Germany. So quite a lot of people here were actually born in Germany as well. Same situation where they couldn't tell you what the fuck happened, like because there were only like one or two. But yeah, most people were actually born in Germany. Like
Yeah. There was, I guess, for a long, long time there. I mean, I don't know if it's still like that now, but like they like reformed a shit ton of castles out there into hospitals. So like their hospitals were just massive. So and like their military shit was all based around a lot of castles and stuff. So
I don't know. Last time I was in Germany, it wasn't very enjoyable. So it was on a on a fucking layover from a disaster trip from Morocco, which I'll never go back to again. And we got trapped there, and it was for my 30th birthday. I got stuck in Germany, and we ended up in the red light district, and
oh shit.
Wasn't a good time, man. That's one of the only times you'll ever hear me say that the red light district wasn't a good time.
That's because you ended up on the wrong side of the window. That's the problem.
Oh man! All right. Well, I gotta interject a little bit of geekness into this, but did either of you see anything today from the DC fandom
Yeah,
presentation or whatever the hell?
yeah.
Heard Sam
I've
going
seen quite a
crazy.
lot.
I think I saw everything except for the only thing I didn't get to see was the teaser or the trailer or whatever for the Suicide Squad game. That's the only thing I missed.
Oh man, you need to watch that when we end this. It's so fucking good.
Says
I
Suicide
haven't.
Squad game.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing a Suicide Squad kills the DC universe.
DC
I think
Universe.
Justice League.
Justice League. Suicide Squad kills.
Okay.
Well, they say Justice League, but all you really see is Superman. But
Yeah.
and
I don't know, man. From the way that everybody's talking about it, it seems pretty cool. But I want to get your thoughts. I guess I want to get your thoughts on the Snyder Cut, Jay.
Yes.
What did you think of that trailer?
it's a hard one, man. Like it looks good. I'm one of these folk that I'm a DC fanboy, so I didn't mind the actual original. I mean, it's no way a great movie, but it gave me what I wanted growing up. You know what I mean? A Batman and Superman on the same screen, live action. Like so, for me, I got a geek boner. But seeing the darker version was nice.
Yeah.
It's one of the things you don't want to invest too much in it, because once you invest too much in it and then you watch it and you're like, well, that was still the same fucking movie, just darker.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of scenes that we never saw, so you got to
that's
see
what
Darkseid.
I kind of felt like. I kind of felt almost like it felt like a different movie.
Aye.
Like from the scenes that they pulled and used, like, and that's the other thing, obviously, is because we've all been watching movies long enough to know, and it's not just superhero movies, it's action movies, it's horror movies, it's every kind of movie. There are a lot of times where they will throw scenes in trailers and shit, and then you watch the movie and you're like, where the fuck was that? And it's like, oh, that's on the cutting room floor. And you're like, wait, what? Why? Because that was the scene that made me want to watch this.
Yeah.
So I'm totally with you on I'm very excited, but I'm also kind of like, we'll see.
Aye.
Just gotta wait
it's
for
like
it.
it's like the original Suicide Squad. Like that trailer was fucking amazing. You know what I mean? You watch the first trailer for the Suicide Squad and you're like, holy shit. Then you seen the film and you're like, holy shit. Like, it was a whole, you know what I mean?
Different kind of shit.
Right.
But
No,
that's the name of the game though. Like these guys are paid money to be like, look, here's so much footage. Now sell this film.
that's true. That is.
You can't
true.
grumble at it. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm also the kind of person, man, like like everybody shit on Batman versus Superman, and you know, a lot of people did. And like at the end of the day, I was entertained as fuck, and I got to see Superman and Batman in the same live action movie, which I wanted since I was a child. Like you're not gonna take that shit away from me. Like I'm still fucking happy with this. I don't care.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now about Batman and the Flash. Oh
yes.
yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Absolutely.
I am praying to everything I know and love that movie's not trash.
You know, that's the other thing. I got kind of a different vibe from a lot of the stuff that we saw today. It seems like whoever is now in charge is kind of like, all right, well, let's stop trying to chase Marvel and let's really just kind of focus on our own shit. because
Aye.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see, obviously, because as we said, trailers are trailers. But like, at the end of the day, though, man, like that's all you can really ask for. It's like, look, Marvel did their shit. Their shit is very successful. Will it continue to be successful? Is not been seen. But like, they had their 8-year run where it was just home run after home run after home run, and I felt like DC was trying either. And that's the other thing a lot of people I think miss on is it's not DC themselves. They also have to please the parent company, which is Warner.
Yeah.
Warner.
And Warner is notoriously known for being one of the hardest fucking companies to work with.
Yep.
With any of their properties. Like the only property I think that didn't have very many hiccups was the Harry Potter franchise.
I love Harry
And, like,
Potter.
So do I.
hate
No
Harry
shame.
Potter.
You said you hate?
I hate Harry Potter. Fucking
Why?
hate it.
Why?
Because my missus loves it.
Oh,
Missus
why?
loves it, and she makes me watch that fucking shit all the time, man. Swear to fuck, man. I want to fucking headbutt that wee cunt, man.
Oh man, that's awesome.
It's really that bad, huh? You didn't find any enjoyment from it whatsoever.
Nah. Like, the villain didn't even feel that fucking bad, man. You know what I mean? I honestly feel like I could have kicked his cunt in. Like, swear to fuck.
I don't know, man. My favorite part is just like the fact that like now my daughter's old enough to watch them, and we watched all of them together. So now, like, just to fuck with her because she gets really mad, I'll run around the house and I'll just like randomly shout Nagini. I'm just like Nagini, and she just gets so pissed. So I think I find a lot of enjoyment in that. Plus, I really like the story in the movies, man. I can't hate. I absolutely loved it. I'm a
I
nerd.
enjoyed it. I'm sorry that you didn't like it.
Like, I always say I hate stuff in that, like, but it's each to their own. It's why
Oh, yeah.
if you get enjoyment out of a film, then fuck it, man. You don't really. We see it all the time on social media. Folk just hate shit for this fact they hating it, and if you don't agree with them hating it, then you're just some asshole. And I can't be arsed with that shit, man.
Trust me, dude, I went through all that with the Hellboy movie because
Oh, right. Yeah.
everybody was like, "This movie's goddamn the worst thing that ever happened," and I'm just like, "Look, man, I've been reading Hellboy books for a long fucking time, and this was way closer than the other two, like way close." Not
I'll
only
go lie,
that, I thought Harbour did a good.
jump. I did jump on your status before seeing it just to wind you up, so I can't say shit, man. Since I seen you were getting heated, I was like, "Oh man, this is too easy, man. I may as well get my fishing rod right now." And I was like, "That movie was balls." I hadn't even seen it. It's actually a good movie. Like, I really
I
enjoyed it.
absolutely loved it, man. I really did. But like you're absolutely right though. There's a lot of people that just get on the internet because they're on the internet and they can just be a dickhead and they're just like, yeah, let's take full advantage of that. Everything sucks about
It's
this.
fucking bandwagoners, man. We touched base on that before, like with the Snyder Cut. Everyone's asked, release the Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut. They throw the first trailer out with Wonder Woman in the dungeon, and then everyone's like, "Oh, we didn't ask for this." What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
This is exactly what you fucking asked for.
Talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But I think that's one thing about like us as geek culture, though. Like, we're never fucking happy.
No, never.
Like as a collective whole, we're never fucking happy, dude. It's just we're just as bitter as other people, and other like sports fans are the same way. Like you're never fucking happy with what your team does, ever, never, ever, ever. So.
Aye. I think it's all like there's not being happy, and then there's going out your way to make others not happy. You know what I mean? That's the part that I really can't be bothered with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me and Kristen talk about it a lot. Like, we're talking about like the girls Ghostbusters films. Now we don't like them. That's fine. But see, when you start saying shit like they've killed our Ghostbusters, it's like, no, they've not killed your Ghostbusters. You still have your Ghostbusters, but now, like Kristen pointed out, her daughter loves it, and I'm like, exactly, that's what it is this is a new generation's Ghostbusters. Like, this is keeping, they're getting the geeky memories that we have. Like, when you think back at watching Ghostbusters with your Matthew's my big cousins and that, you know what I mean? Like, all these fond memories, that's what it's making for folk now. No need to fucking shit on it, you know what I mean? Like, if someone likes it, you don't have to hate on it. You see it at cons. like kids dressed up as these Ghostbusters, and then you see an adult take the piss at them, and you're like, man, I will fucking drop kick you right now. You're making fun of a child. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, don't be that much of a dick.
Yeah, there's no reason for it, man, for sure. Like, and that's the thing, though, is it's like I don't know if it got scrapped or what happened, but they were redoing a Thundercats cartoon. But they were redoing it in like a Teen Titans Go kind of wonky, goofy style. And I saw a little bit of like a trailer for it or something. And like I read the message for it, and it was just like, what the fuck, ruining my childhood, blah blah blah. I'm like, bitch, no one gave a shit about the Thundercats back in 1980. Like, then, like, you have some false bullshit. It's like all the He-Man stuff. Like, bro, come on, He-Man, go back and watch that shit now. Go back and watch Masters of the Universe and tell me, sit here. This shit is not garbage, because it is. It's absolute shit.
Fuck yeah.
Like,
but like, if they remake,
you watch it and you'll be like, oh, it gives you nostalgia, but you sure as hell cannot say that stands up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can't say it fucking looks good. You know what I mean?
No.
It's so fucking bad.
Right.
It's like the original Mortal Kombat movie.
I fucking love that movie.
I love that movie. I still love that movie, but you can't like back then when I first saw it, when it first came out, I was like, this is the fucking greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Now you watch it, and it's still great. We're losing fuzz. But yeah, no, I'm with you guys on that one. But I know, because I say a lot of hate and I say a lot of shit, especially against Green Lantern and Silver Surfer. But it's all, if somebody loves it, like Evan in the club loves Silver Surfer, I just fuck around with him, and he fucks with me back too, because he's been posting a lot of Green Lantern books lately and tagging me, so it's fun. Or like me and this fuck here with Spider-Gwen.
Because I don't like the character, but at the same time, like, I like to rib people for liking the character, but at the end of the day, I don't give a shit, man. If you like that character, rock on, man. I don't, but if you do, then fuck yeah, dude.
Rock out with your cock out, man.
Boom, slam out with your clam out.
So now that is going to segue into this, because I also wanted, because Jay here watched our episode where we talked a bit about The Last Ronin, and he's probably one of the most well-versed turtle guys I know. And he had some opinions, so I'm curious. So when Donatello is The Last Ronin, how are you going to feel about it?
Oh, brilliant, because I'm right.
No.
It's funny because I keep saying, like, I'm usually always wrong, and I usually am always wrong, but I kept saying to everyone that was not going to be fucking Bizarro that was in this Suicide Squad game, and it was Superman, and everyone was like, nah, look at his eyes, and it turns out I was right, it was Superman, so therefore that means I'm right, and it's fucking Donnie. So, you know what I mean? These things come in threes, so I've got to be right about something else.
Oh yeah, man.
No, like Julio has his philosophies. He's talking about, like, he was very passionate today, actually, in the chat about Michelangelo.
Yes.
Oh,
and,
man, we've got a Casey Jones chat that we call it because we've got to do a podcast, and he says he talks it all the time, man. And it's fucking nonsense, man.
Well, because his philosophy is that was the first turtle that was drawn.
First in, first out. First in, first out. That's how it fucking goes. You know what I mean? First in, first out.
Well, see, here is the thought that popped into my head the other day, because I am of the Donnie. I think it's Donnie. I absolutely do. But it kind of kicked me in the head the other day. I was like, you know what? What if it was Leo? Because it would be, but at the same time, nobody takes loss like Leo.
Yeah.
Like, he takes everything so hard because he is the leader.
Right.
So I could see it being somewhat that everybody dies and he blames himself, because that's what fucking Leo always does. And I could see that as well, but I still feel that Donnie makes the most sense.
So what?
My speculation in it, right? So it's purely speculation. It's never been said before, so we don't even know how they're going to die. But say in my head they die in one big massive fight because that'd be cool as fuck. Like that's what readers really want. Well, I want as a reader. So in my head, I try and break it down. So what I'd see first is Raph and Mikey are always the first ones to jump in. So they'll be the first ones to get taken out. And you were talking about how Leo takes everyone to heart. That's what's got to happen, right? So they two have got to go in, get took the fuck out. That's got to make Leo be like, what the fuck? And he's got to run in because he's obviously at this point all steaming. And in past stories, Leo's anger has always got the better of him. Like there's loads of stories about him getting over his anger and becoming this Zen leader that he needs to be. So I think this is when that's all got to go out the window. He's just watched two of his brothers die. He's then going to fucking like try and kill this cunt, get took the fuck out. And that leaves Donnie, which I think he'll use his smarts to either defeat the villain or find a way to retreat. Now, I know it sounds shit saying he's got to run away, but if you've just watched three of your brothers get murked and you're not the hard one, you know what I mean? You're the one that got handed a stick, for fuck's sake. You've got to be like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I've got a stick. They had good weapons and I've got a fucking stick.
There's nothing wrong with a tactical retreat. I call that a tactical retreat.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not cowardice retreat, it's tactical retreat.
That's what my idea is. And then, like I said in the wee video I made, is for me, because he's always the overthinker, could you imagine how difficult that would be dealing with that thought of,
it's true.
I watched them die and then I ran away. You know what I mean? Like, I think that could make for such a good story.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, that's all just speculation. Like, Eastman and that Laird have been determined not to tell anyone about it, because this story's been wrote years and years ago, like back when they were originally doing Turtles. They just bammed this up like years and years. That's why I keep saying to folk, because a lot of folk have been asking me like, oh, do I need to be reading the new run? And people have been picking up the new run like fuck to try and catch up, and I keep explaining, don't pick it up because it's not, there might be nods to the hat and that, but that's not connected in any way. Like, this story was started an idea fucking long ago.
Now, how do you feel about some people that think it's a mysterious fifth turtle?
I don't think that was, for me, that wouldn't keep the readers.
That's what
simple.
Yeah, no, I have
keep the readers. Like, I'm so gutted this book has been pushed back yet again, because this book has, for me, been the most anticipated Turtle book for a long time. Like, I know people that don't even read Turtles are like, I'm picking up this last Ronin book. And the pushbacks are killing it enough. So if you've already pushed it back twice, which is killing it, and then you're going to turn out and say it's some fucking fifth turtle or Jenica, then folk are just going to drop that book like fuck. Straight away, folk are going to be, I'm not interested.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, I like Ninja Turtles. I've always liked Ninja Turtles. I've never been a heavy reader of the series or anything. I just recently started reading more. But I even pre-ordered Last Ronin because I'm so hyped about this story. Like, I think it's going to be great, and I plan on picking up the whole series, you know, as long as it's good, as long as it's not like a fucking, as long as it's Slash, and you're like, what the fuck?
Oh, who the fuck is Slash? Yeah, I hate when they do that shit. It'd be like The Wedding all over again. Batman 50.
Oh, I don't.
Well, you know, dude, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Dude, like...
Yes, I know what you're going to say.
As long as we've all been Batman fans, there's no fucking way we thought it was happening. Right? I'm not the only person that was like, this
because what, your philosophy... Because your philosophy is that he can't be happy.
No, my philosophy is he shouldn't be fucking happy.
Okay, which is why he should get married.
Well, I suppose actually, yeah.
But no, like, I mean, honestly, like, and that's why, like, when everybody got so pissed and everything, I was just like, what the fuck are you mad about? You knew this shit was coming. Like, that kills the character instantly. It's not Superman. It's not like, oh, I'm happy, and now I'm really happy. It's like, I'm fucking vengeance, I'm the knight. Now I'm getting married? Like, I can be happy and pissed. No, you can't, motherfucker. Like,
but how unhappy do you want him to be? Like Brando says, he should get married, maybe get a 9 to 5 at Burger King, then he can be vengeance the night and flipping burgers at the same time. You know what I mean? Then he's really unhappy. You know what I mean? Like,
manager always on my back.
Fucking oh yeah.
Would you like fries with that? No, ice cream machine is broken.
Oh my god! I would pay somebody fucking millions of dollars if they write the Batman working at Burger King
Oh.
store.
That's fucking great. All right, so that's good. You don't think it's going to be a fifth turtle. You don't think it's going to be Jenica, and you're probably correct, and it's going to be Donatello for very good reasons. All right.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So
Like I said, we don't really know any, and we don't know how they'll die. Like personally, I think it'll be a bit shit if it's kind of like they've died off over time, but that's just in
Right.
my head. Eastman could prove me wrong.
I did want to ask you this because I work with somebody who's actually a big turtle head, and they corrected me. And I mean, they're a big turtle head, but I don't know if they're super into it as much as maybe you are. Because I was like, oh no, it's going to be Donatello. Going to be Donatello. Gonna be... He's like, it can't be Donatello. Donatello's dead. He's like a zombie. What the fuck was that? What does that mean?
Again, this is the whole problem is they're referring to like completely different books. Like you need
Okay.
to knock out all these stories that have came before it because of that exact fact. Like they have said this is going to be a love letter to all past stories, so you can't follow like set storylines. Like I've said it, I don't think Jenica's got to be in this book whatsoever because she's only in IDW. So I think they might
Right.
mention her. The same thing as they might mention these odd things. The whole zombie thing is the fact that technically died, but again, this is all going for one story. You know what I mean? Like you can't follow that because they want to have a. They essentially, I think the Last Ronin is them trying to pull back people and trying to get up this hype because there is a kind of, and I'm going to do a video on it shortly, but it's kind of a big hype behind Turtles again.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you are seeing it, but or if it's just
Oh,
because I'm a shellhead, but it
no, no,
seems like
no.
it's building up again.
It is. It absolutely is, man. And I've noticed even the subtleness. Like, if you would have said something to me about turtles like 2 months ago or something, whenever I went to like a local Walmart or a Target, there'd be tons of turtles toys. Not now. Legit, 100%. I've gone to
Oh,
a
they're all
Walmart.
gone.
They're all fucking banged out. And I mean, maybe that could be because of COVID and people not shipping. But at the same time, dude, like, I mean, there is nothing. And I'm
No,
just like,
no, it's definitely
I'm like, that seems a
that's
little like crazy to be missing all these. Not to mention, like, obviously NECA had their bullshit go down
Ugh.
because as soon as NECA dropped those toys and people went in there and bought, every one of them up,
yep.
like they had to, but the hype's back, man. Like the hype is starting to come back, especially.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely. Like it's like I'm all for whatever you collect is cool. Like as long as you
yeah,
love it. But if you do watch these collectors that kind of follow the fads, like which is
oh,
cool. Like if you're into like the popular shit, then fair enough. But you get the people that when the Deadpool film was coming out, they loved Deadpool. Now
of
they fucking
course.
love it. Like you know what I mean. So you're starting to see these guys suddenly start to love Turtles again.
Oh
Starting to
yeah,
pick it up, and suddenly they're like, "Oh, I've loved this all my life," and they probably have because we all grew up watching the cartoon and that. But it
Yeah.
generally is you're starting to see people like re-find that love for the cartoon and stuff, and re-find the love for like I've had at least 3 or 4 of my mates hit me up and be like, "Can I get your Turtles?" Like because I may have copies of the Turtle cartoon that I can pass out to people. So
nice.
yeah,
That's
Awesome.
awesome. Like the original
because
'84 one.
the original one that came out because, like you've seen in the other videos, we had the Hero Turtles here. Like,
Okay.
so it was completely different. Like, there was stuff that was banned in our one that you couldn't watch. So it was called
Wow.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Yeah.
And they couldn't say certain words like bummer because they thought that was a reference to anal sex. Um,
My favorite thing.
they tried to cut out as many weapons as they could. The nunchucks just weren't allowed whatsoever. So a lot of
My,
Mikey's scenes were cut. So
wow.
you generally can't find Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles over here that's not region. So
Right.
obviously, like if you try and watch it on my Xbox here, it just wouldn't play unless I got a fancy DVD player, which, like I said, Scottish folk are cheap as fuck. So I'm not getting a fancy DVD player. If I've got an Xbox there, then I'm going to fucking watch it on that.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
so a lot of people do hit me up and are like, "Yeah, that version, not our shitty ass version that came out.
That's awesome, man. You're
So
like
what-
the
Go
secret
ahead.
turtle man. You're the turtle dealer.
For the turtle dealer.
That's it. Aye. That's it.
So what are your
Got some
thoughts on
weed
the?
if you want that too.
Oh God.
Right.
I'm taking the piss, obviously, before my employers see this and I lose my job.
But
Uh,
what'd you think of the live action movies?
I loved them, to be honest. I'll not lie. Like, there's very rare Turtles stuff that I don't like. Like,
right.
I've spoke about it to many people. Like, I like the TMNT film that came out, the CGI one.
Animated? Oh my god, that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I loved that. A lot of people, especially Turtles fans, hated it for some reason, but I loved it. Like, the fucking whole Night Watcher Raph thing was cool as fuck, man. There's like Batman Raph. It was just so fucking cool, man.
It was. It was
It's the same with the Michael Bay ones. Like, they were enjoyable. There was, of course, there's plenty of things you could pick apart in it, like the fact that the first one had like a Terminator shredder, which technically you could argue was like a super shredder of this time, but
right.
the fact that we never got a normal shredder first was a bit like,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
again, my nieces love that Turtles. You know what I mean? For me, like,
Of course.
them sitting doing the rap and the fucking elevator comes on and they start like dancing away to it, and that for me that's worth all the fucking money in the world. You know, when you see a next generation act the way that we acted when we were watching the original one in the 90s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that,
Because that scene in the elevator of the new one is like to the newer fans what the Ninja Rap was to us in TMNT.
Exactly. I mean,
I hope they bring Vanilla Ice back. I
He's
really
busy-
do.
He's
I
busy
thought he was
building.
dead.
He's building houses.
Oh, he's building houses now. He learned from Amish people.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's
I
legit
actually,
on
yeah.
HGTV where he fucking flips houses and repairs houses and shit.
Dick Van Winkle, is that his, or no? Robert
Rob.
Van Winkle? Rob Van, I don't know why I said Dick. That's Dick's always on my mind, I guess. But, no, but I liked the third Turtles movie too, the one with the fucking like time machine thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. A lot of people hated that. I love that movie.
A lot of people hated the second as well.
Oh, that's crazy.
The second
was
but
my favorite.
oh, I loved it. I mean, I wanted Bebop and Rocksteady, but we never got that. Obviously, we all know what we got instead. But still, it was funny. It was cool. Like when I was younger, watching that, man, it was fucking hilarious.
Now that's a question I actually do have for you because you are a turtlehead. Were Toka and Razor in the books prior to TMNT2, the movie, or was that something that they just? No, they weren't. They weren't characters.
That was something that was kind of something they slipped in. I mean, I could be wrong on that one, but I don't ever remember reading them. I'm sure they were made up because there was an issue with trying to get Bebop and Rocksteady in it.
Right.
Okay. But I mean, it's hard. It's so hard to tell because, see, at that point, TMNT was kind of ran by the toy line.
Right. Absolutely. They were
so
by
like
Playmates or whoever was making this.
But they were trying their hardest just to make any character, like any character they could. So like there was generally like, even now if you find the older like Archie comics and that, some of these characters that are in the Archie comics were actually made as a toy first.
Yeah.
And then they were like, you know what? Oh, we'll chuck them in this comic. So like, Comic Tom will love this. Like, but apparently that means they're not their first appearances. You know,
Comic who?
Like, Tom.
I love it. But yeah,
I was trying so hard not to.
I absolutely always wondered that because, like I said, I watched the cartoons a lot. But I mean, that also goes back to Masters of the Universe. Like that shit was literally all created by a toy line.
Well, funnily enough, like the guy who like pretty much amped up that toy line and made it huge was actually brought in and made the Turtles huge as well, because they were kind of big at one point, but it would just start to die down, and they needed the cartoon to have a bit more oomph to it. So they actually fucking hired this motherfucker because he was so highly successful with the He-Man stuff. Like, right, you come in and just amp it up. So, like, one of the ones I definitely know he got his hands on was the Turtle van. So when he turned up, it generally was just like a Volkswagen van, and he was like, "Nah, let's add fucking like wee funny spoilers and shit and turtle shells and that." And then he made what our iconic toy line is. Like, you can see that now, no matter where you go, you see it on a pin, a patch, or whatever. You're like, you don't even have to be close to it. You're like, that's the turtle van, 100% turtle van.
Absolutely. What are we looking at on time right now?
We're at 50 minutes and 30 seconds.
Jesus Christ, it doesn't even feel like that.
That's what she said.
Woo!
Not wrong.
Yeah, I know. Fucking problems.
All right. Well,
I got my moop.
I guess we got to get into the. I have the Amanda this week.
You do.
You have the moop. So
I have our official moop. Jay, do you have anybody that has been moopish this week to you? No?
Like I said, Scotland's just full of cunts, so.
any particular cunt?
No, you just need to get used to it.
He's like, I just got to stick my head out the window and look left. He's like, yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I was actually worried because like I'm sitting out in my car, my street's like it's a huge street, but where my house is kind of like an alleyway where all the drunks come in, and I was like, fucking bet I'm going to end up getting a fight with some teenager that's got to come by drunk and kick the car or something. Like, because my car's my baby, and I was like, man, I'm going to get caught on film kicking the hell out of Ned, man.
Oh, God. I'm not gonna lie, that would probably put us into like stratosphere, like hundreds levels. Be like, dude, you got this shit. This guy's doing a podcast and he just beats the piss out of somebody comes to finish.
And that'd be so upsetting. Just ruin the vibe. I'm just trying to talk about some turtles, man. This guy comes and fucks up your day.
That's the best Irish accent I've ever heard. Top of the morning to you. Talking turtles.
The only time, I don't know, as an American, I guess, whenever anyone tries to do an actual Scottish accent, it's just always them trying to replicate they're trying to replicate Sean Connery. That's it.
See, I was thinking, I would think more so. Have you ever seen the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer?
Oh yes, Harriet, sweet Harriet.
Yeah, but the Mike Myers version of his dad, where he's like yelling at the kid in front of the TV. Yeah. He's like, "Head paper." That's what I've always associated with Scottish when I was, younger. I was like, oh, that's what Scottish people sound like. They just yell at people all the time, and I'm like,
they do. Like, generally, like again, obviously, people haven't seen what we were talking about when we were talking about shit for tea. Like, see when you're Scottish and you ask your mum, "What are we having for dinner?" They say shite and sugar. Like, just knowledge, because they just don't want to answer you. And it's just generally like, you will eat what I give you. That's essentially what that means. So the amount of time you'd be like, what are we having for dinner tonight? And then it's shite and sugar. Shite and sugar.
That's amazing.
That's fucking great.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Well, I'll try to work harder on my Irish accent for you next time.
So do you want to hit with the moot first, or you want me to hit with the Amanda first?
I think Amandas are easy. All Amandas are easy. So let's hit Amanda first.
That's what I heard.
So as you know,
fucking slutty Amandas.
Not only are they bitches, but now they're whores. But as you know, I went to Cleveland this past weekend, and I went and met up with our buddy Dinosaur, our buddy JD Dinosaur, and we hit up a couple of cool comic shops. My wife came with me. We hung out with him and his lady, Taylor. Well, we were trying to find a place to eat, and with COVID going on and everything, we wanted to try to find a place that had outdoor dining and shit. And we were going to go to these food trucks, but apparently these food trucks just opened. So I don't know if it's like this everywhere else, but when you open a new food truck in the States here, you're not fucking eating there for 2-3 weeks because everybody and their brother's there. So we found this little shitty restaurant across the way. And we were like, what about this place? It's got outdoor dining, yada, yada. So we go over there, we sit. And I go in and I tell the bartender, I'm like, hey, we're sitting out on the patio. Can you send a server out? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'll get somebody out there ASAP. So we're there for about 10 minutes. Nothing. Well, then we see a server. She comes out. We have dubbed her half shirt because she wore like a very, very skimpy half shirt. It took John by surprise, and he just was like, "Wow!" So we got a good laugh out of that. But anyhow, so she comes out, handles the table right in front of the door, goes back in. We're like, okay, shit. She comes out again. We kind of try to yell her down. She goes right back in. Then Taylor goes inside to try to fucking get a server. And that lady comes out again. And like literally, Nicole and John 100% were like, she's flat out ignoring us. She is making it a point not to look in our direction. Like, it was just the worst fucking service ever. And this woman just like was literally on purpose not looking our direction. So we hopped the gate. We just ended up getting pizza instead.
Fuck 'em.
But that
sucks to suck.
So half shirt, you are this week's fucking Amanda.
Fuck you, Amanda.
Fuck you, half shirt Amanda.
And now off for the controversial move of the week. And I say controversial because usually we tend not to really call anybody out on Instagram. But I had to, man. I just fucking had to. Because everybody, anybody and everybody that knows me or Fuzz knows how we feel about flippers and speculators. Like, so there's this person. And so, by the way, the best part is I commented on this dude's picture. And I was like, yeah, make that money, kid. You're the man. Fuzz, I think we found our newest moop. And he actually fucking responded to me. He's like, yeah, they're all going out to CGC making money. I'm like, you fucking twat. Like, so basically, this guy, there's this guy, and he dresses up as a king. Like, he has the fucking king's robe, and he wears a crown. Yes.
That's the
And-
definition of a walloper. That's going to be a definition of a walloper.
So he
Holy shit.
legitimately, I'm looking at his fucking picture right now. So he wears this robe and a crown, and he's holding a bunch of issues of one book. And the fucking thing that he says in this is, "My Legends of the Dark Knights finally arrived. Got 20 copies, all at cover price." So this guy hoarded 20 fucking copies. And I know multiple people that couldn't even get one copy of that book because it was all picked up.
Yep.
And this is the type of guy that's showing off all these fucking copies of this book that people were after that are actually going to read it just so he can flip for a profit. Because that's apparently a big fucking hustle. So, like, when you used to sling fucking rock in 1990s New York, that's the same thing as fucking hoarding comic books in 2020 Instagram. So I got so irritated because not only, and I don't care how much flack I'm going to get, not only is this guy a flipper, he just dresses like an absolute fucking dickbag. Like you're the king of what? So his name is, fuck, I don't care. The King Nerd. I'm sure you're a nice guy in real life, but this week you're a fucking moop, man. And I'm sorry, big time fucking moop. Like, thanks, buddy. I know several people that wanted that book, and now they're gonna have to fucking pay astronomical prices. Oh, and even further, you're gonna be CGCing them all, so people can't even read them if they buy them off you. And fuck you.
You're the moot, bitch. King Ralph looking motherfucker.
King Walloper.
King Walloper.
King Walloper. It's funny you say about that book because I've got a mate who's kind of getting back into reading comics, and he messaged me during the week with pictures of Legends because he was like, why is this one 40 quid and this one's this much? Is it something to do with the cover? And I had to explain to him what a fucking speculator was, man. I was like, man, I hate even fucking talking about this shit, man. See, having to explain to new comic book readers the whole reason they can't find a book that they generally want to fucking read the story of is because someone's trying to fucking ruin because the money doesn't go back into the industry. Like, say what the fuck you want. That's just you being a greedy cunt, man. There's no other fucking reason.
Yeah. You're 100% right. Absolutely, dude. And I've said it before on this show. I've said it before to friends and everything. That shit is what will kill the comic industry.
100%.
That
100%. Yep.
shit was what will give us nothing but digital comics for the rest
Yep.
of our lives. And that's why digital is making such a boom. Because you can't buy a digital to where I can't get it. Like, if I want to read the shit, I can read the shit digitally. You can't charge more than $4 for it.
The funny thing about that, though, is I made a joke in our chat about this because they're talking about how it's all going to go to digital. I said, watch. There's going to be people out there, certain very big influencers in this industry that wear glasses that we mentioned earlier. They're going to be like, yo, what up, comic book fam? And say that, like, code 21234 came out before code 21235, so therefore that's the first print. That's the first print of it digitally. Whoa! I can't wait. But yeah, King Nerd, fuck you.
You're a fucking moob.
Fucking move. And now we're at an hour. And
all right, man.
Really appreciate you, man. Go get some, well, not rest, but put your feet up, rub one out, think about me as always, and thank you for being on the show, man.
Absolutely.
Man. Thanks for having me on. I can't wait to fucking go and have a tam shank.
Shite and sugar, ladies and gentlemen. Shite and sugar.